going on, you lot? What do you all say? If you didn't get that reference, it's from James Matthews. He's another YouTuber who does really badass B-roll videos. He made a video about a year ago about mistakes he's made during videography, and the first 10 seconds, a year later, I still laugh at. I'll show you a clip right here.
And yeah, we're doing the interview. 5 minutes in and I look at the camera and I go, oh, Jeroses, I'm not even recording.
Alright, my peeps, finally, I got my Canon M6 Mark II in the mail, and I installed a new update yesterday, which is the 24p update. And as you can tell, Corona has really taken a toll on me. I need a haircut so bad, and the amount of self-haircuts right now on YouTube is unreal. So today we're going to be doing a vlog, but I also kind of want to do a practical review on this new M6, compare it a little bit to the M50, and just some stuff that I like about it. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, first category I want to talk about is handling. Now this one, the camera feels pretty good in the hand. It does feel, I've had the first Mark I, and this one does have a little bit more of a curve on the grip part here. I do have a small rig cage on this one, and I feel like small rig cages make small mirrorless cameras like this feel more like full frame, or at least better to hold. So that seems to be the case here. This one, I think they really emphasized on the grip here, and it just feels really nice to grip. I really enjoy the additional dials that I get with the camera. So what I didn't have on the M50 was this guy right here, and then this rotatable one right here. So what I've done on this one is I've always had this one up here to control the shutter speed. This one I've assigned to control the aperture, and then this one I've assigned to control the ISO. I was able to do the same things on the M50, I just had to press the screen or to program some of these keys here. But with this one I can just change it on the fly without having to press anything. Next, what I like and what I don't like actually is the screen. So the screen rotates up, out, and then down. I'm not sure what the out part would be useful for, but the down one would be useful for if you have this camera above your head and you need to see what's going on. And then obviously the above one is perfect for seeing yourself when you vlog. But for me specifically, for what I'm going to be using this camera for anyway, is whenever I do any camera work or just generally behind the camera, it's a lot more useful to flip this up this way as opposed to the M50 flipping up to the left. I always find that flipping it to the left kind of messes with your equilibrium when you're trying to pan left, right, or go forward. Whereas this one, if I just pan it up like this, I'm able to keep it center, so if I pan left, pan right, or walk forward, I'm not having to kind of guess which way I have to go to keep the line straight. By the way, once you vlog with the Sigma 16mm lens, this kit lens just looks like straight garbage. Ah, what we got going on over here, huh? Oh, you drinking your crack juice, are we? What's in there? Diarrhea, Play-Doh, lead, skin? Why does your hair look like you just got out of the shower? You know you haven't showered in like 30 days.
I showered today.
Alright, we're going to be taking a few pictures and photos out here. Pictures and photos? Isn't that the same thing? We're going to be taking a few photos and videos out here so that we can test out our next category, which is image quality. And these are some comparison photos. The one on the left is the M50, the one on the right is the M6 Mark II. The M6 Mark II has better dynamic range. You can see this on his face. The pockets on the left are darker than the ones on the right. So both of these pictures were taken at ISO 100, shutter speed 400, and aperture was at 2.8. So I definitely think the M6 Mark II beats it here. And this is just a 4K clip. The difference is negligible, but the 4K crop on the M50 kind of sucks because for a 16mm, it makes it a 40, so you can't use it for tight shots. Oh my god, she sleeps so peacefully. So Valerie's gonna make some slime. Well, she said she used the word slime, but
It's
this
called
doesn't look...
Mundo. Mundo.
y'all made some margaritas today. So, cheers. Brain freeze. I figured this would be a good time to test out the stabilization. We're gonna go pick up some pizzas at Domino's. Basically just knock on the door, and they leave the pizza on the floor, and then you pick it up and go home. Alright, now I'm just walking. I have the stabilization enabled, and I'm just gonna be walking forward out to the car. I think it should be out here. And it's doing okay for like what it is, you know. It's wait, why am I getting in the driver's seat? I mean the passenger seat. It's doing okay for what it is. It's just it's not gonna be like GH5 level. I realized that walking forward test was probably really silly because no one actually walks like that with the camera. But in case anybody was interested, I think the test that more people care about, and the one that's a true testament for the stabilization on a camera, if you're vlogging, is like this right now, walking while holding the camera. So I'll do more of that when I get home. One thing I do want to mention though is that you guys, if you have a fast lens, you should really consider just ditching your ND filter. I mean, I could tell you that right now I'm at 1.8. If I wanted to, like, let's put me down to 2.2. The image quality still looks really good, and I didn't need an ND filter. Now, sure, you're gonna lose the blurry background, but I mean, like, you don't need it all the time. And I find that when I try to get that, like, stay at 1.4 and have an ND filter, it just ruins the shot, man. It ruins like the, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. The image quality just looks muddy. It looks nasty. So I don't know, man. I've ditched the ND filter. I just shut the aperture if I'm outside and it's too blown out. So I read a quote saying that, you know, you've grown up when you realize that you don't need to shoot at 1.4 all the time, which is kind of funny. All right, about to pick up the pizza, but I guess they are letting people inside. You just can't touch like the counter and stuff. So I'm not gonna bring the camera in there, but I'll put you in my pocket so you can hear the audio. Hey, I'm just picking up my order for Jose. Oh, nice. I don't have to pay for this? Okay, great. What's that? You want my autograph? Alright, so this is the flavors that we usually like to eat. This one is Valerie's. As you can see, it's pineapple and ham. She grew up without both parents. And me, I grew up with both parents because I like the good old American 5-meat pepperoni slice in your mouth. And then we try to get a little bit experimental with barbecue chicken with mushrooms. So we're gonna enjoy this, watch Trolls 2, and then I'll be back to round out this video. Every time I eat pizza, I try so hard not to overeat, and every time I overeat, it's like I get like a sharp pain in my chest, like if all the bad decisions I've made in my life are just compounding into one moment. So this last test, this is just on auto. This is not something I'm really categorizing the camera with, but in case you're kind of curious what it looks like, the reason I don't like putting the camera on auto when I have the Sigma lens on is that it always tends to throw up a high shutter speed instead of just lowering the ISO. Because every time I check, if you have press, you can check to see what the settings are on. The ISO is always like high, like 800, but so is the shutter speed. And instead of lowering the shutter speed, instead of the camera lowering the shutter speed to compensate for the exposure, it just lowers the ISO, which I don't get. So this is probably looking choppy. But I just kind of wanted to showcase the image stabilization. So this is just enabled. That was it. This is my vlog / experience with the M6 Mark II. Should you get it if you got an M50? I'll be honest, probably not. I think the M50, had I not had this and I had stuck with the M50, this M50 still would have been great. 4K is I mean, maybe for the uncropped 4K, not necessarily to export in 4K, but you do get a higher bit rate. If you're curious, I know for sure this one has 121 megabytes per second on 4K. The 1080p in 24 frames looks good, but if you're trying to put a LUT on there and really push how much you like how strong you want the LUT to be, by the time you export and put on YouTube, it might look kind of muddy. So having a 4K file with a 121 megabits, you can push it even farther and it still looks pretty good, decent. So other than that, I think this is great, but you know, if you had to save money or you already have an M50, I think you're straight. As long as you get these Sigma lenses. I have the 16 here and then the 30 right here. And that's the Canon 50. This is the kit lens, but I'm getting the 56 soon. That's going to replace this, so I'm going to have the Sigma Trio. Alright guys, that's it for me, man. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe out there.